All right, Joe Biden's weakness on the world stage is making the world less safe. He is emboldening the terror group Hamas and the #1 state sponsor of terror, that would be Iran. Now, in the Middle East, Biden now stands accused in a lawsuit of aiding and abetting the Hamas terror attacks by funneling $1.5 billion to the West Bank and Gaza, despite Hamas being a designated terror organization. Now, that is apparently in violation of the 2018 Taylor Force Act, which specifically does restrict money from going to the Palestinians unless they're taking steps to end acts of violence against the U.S. and Israel and Israeli citizens. Now, Biden also refuses to hold Iran accountable for their attack on Israel. He has no plans at all to issue any sanctions on the lifeblood of their terror organization, which is money gained from Iranian oil, the lifeblood of the world's economy. And even worse, he won't support Israel's right to defend itself against these terror attacks. And he's now literally enabling Iran and Hamas. And by the way, by doing so, increasing the likelihood of even more attacks. Now, Biden also apparently has no issue with Russia aiding Iran. According to reports, Russia is all but openly selling weapons to the Islamic Republic, even from factories already facing U.S. sanctions. And meanwhile, Biden has not said a word about Vladimir Putin moving a warship, apparently with hypersonic weapons in them, into the Mediterranean this week. None of this should come as a surprise. Biden can't even secure our very own border here at home. By the way, earlier today, his Secretary of Homeland Security paid the price for that policy as articles of impeachment against him from the House were formally presented to the U.S. Senate. The question now is whether or not Senate Republicans will be able to hold a trial. As we expect, Chuck Schumer will move to dismiss the articles tomorrow. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, he was in the chamber for the delivery of those articles, and he joins us right now. Senator, will 41 Republicans stand on principle and take the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas, who lied to the country for 3 years and said the country that our border was secure and border was closed, lied to us, and we have over 10 million unvetted Joe Biden illegal immigrants, tens of thousands from Russia and China and, let's see, Iran and Syria and Egypt and Afghanistan? Will the Senate, will the 41 Republicans stand on principle and say you should and must, as a matter of your constitutional duties, enforce the laws of this country?
1,000%, Sean. We absolutely, positively, unequivocally must stand for truth, stand for justice. The Biden administration and Mayorkas, they are guilty of the greatest invasion in American history, our southern border, insecure, unsafe, sleeper cells coming across our southern border. This is not just a crisis, it is a crime. And the impeachment should stand, and we should fire Joe Biden in November and re-elect, yes, re-elect
let me ask
Donald
this.
Trump. Why? Because we had peace, prosperity, and opportunity. Yes, Sean.
Okay. Will 41 Republicans tomorrow unite to make sure that this trial goes forward?
Absolutely. We had conversations today. I believe we will have a unanimous Republican Party standing in defense of truth. The Democrats want this to be quick and painless. Republicans want this to be an exercise that is thorough, that finds the truth and brings to the surface the absolute disaster of the Biden administration, imperiling and jeopardizing American lives. It is a national security issue. Our border is a national security issue.
You watch now the radicalized Democratic Party, the Chuck Schumers, the Nancy Pelosi, the Squad, and Joe Biden now in Israel's hour of need. 1,200 Israelis killed on October the 7th. This attack on Saturday night by Iran never happened in history. And it seems that Joe Biden's answer is he will not stand with our ally, as they did stand with us after 9/11, and back them in winning their war against radical terrorists that are attacking them. They are the victims here. And I think the reason is that Joe Biden is more concerned that he lost 100,000 Democratic primary voters in Michigan, 18.9% total. He lost 50,000 in Wisconsin. And it seems to me that Joe Biden would rather stand against Israel, which emboldens radical terrorists, Hamas and Iran, because his blind political ambition has taken over. How do you see it?
1,000%. Sean, you can't say it better than you just said it. The bottom line is this. Joe Biden is more interested in winning elections than doing the right thing. Joe Biden is willing to be feckless without question. He is not loyal to our allies, which means he cannot be lethal to our adversaries. It goes a step further, however. It's not just the $1.5 billion given or flowing through UNRWA. It's not just the $6 billion in exchange for hostages, making the entire globe unsafe for Americans to travel. It's not just the $10 billion in November. It's the more than $100 billion of sanction relief to oil. So the president is actually complicit with the actions of this new axis of evil that you described earlier. But more importantly, we had a choice. And when we have another choice on November the 5th, the question should be answered emphatically. Our borders were more secure. We had peace in the world, prosperity at home, and opportunity across the world under Donald J. Trump. That's why the trial in New York is absolutely injustice, not justice. That's why Joe Biden is more afraid of the new growing anti-Semitism in his party. He's going to try his best to insulate them and leave the rest of us vulnerable. It's just wrong,
If
Sean.
Joe Biden had any moral clarity at all, and he does not, he would be telling Israel, the United States will stand by you and wish you all the best and give you as much support as we can and hope and pray that you win your war against radical terrorism. That should be the stand of the U.S.
1,000%.
That's not complicated. All right. Senator, great to have you.
Not at all, Sean.
All right, coming up next, well, Joe Biden traveled to Scranton, PA today to pitch his tax plan. The whole thing was, well, typical Biden disaster. We've got all the lowlights and reaction. Larry Kudlow, straight ahead. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.